Yo, I saw this pound for pound list that Bill Haney put up. This is the Ring current pound for pound rankings. And again, you see Ring is doing its damnedest to um provide some structure and to combat the sanctioning bodies that exist. You know what I mean? Everybody has pound for pound. You know what I mean? Ring or a lot of all the media companies, that they have their own pound for pound lists, and the best ones that I've seen so far. Well, really, the best one that I've seen so far has been from Champ Side, but this is the first time I'm seeing the current Ring pound for pound rankings since the Turkey buyout. And to be honest, it's not bad, man. It's not bad. Because if you look at everybody on this list, they all have defining moments, right? Alexander Usyk. I mean, to be honest, bro, he just became undisputed heavyweight champion. Dude was a cruiserweight. And because usually heavyweights are not on the pound for pound list, but his style, for one and two. Okay, first of all, he's small for a heavyweight. Everybody knows this. He was a cruiserweight, and when he moved up to heavyweight, they're saying he's small for a heavyweight. He would have trouble in the heavyweight division, but pound for pound is about style for style, right? At any weight class, right? And his style makes him an exception to the rule, which is the reason why him being number one is not out of the question. I mean, him being number one makes sense. He just outboxed a guy that was, 6'6", but also was outboxing Anthony Joshua. Also, I mean, the Dubois fight was the only asterisk or question mark in his history. But style for style, though, that dude can definitely hang with anybody. He can hang with the Tank Davis with his style, and I think he would box his socks off. Pause. Well, yeah, box his socks off, and at the same time, he would give just about anybody trouble, all the way up to a Bud Crawford. Me personally, I got Bud Crawford number one pound for pound because of how many styles he's conquered and how many weight divisions he's moved up. He started at 135. Now he's moving all the way up to 168. So the fact that he stopped all the 147 pounders, went up to 154, fought one of the toughest 154 pounders. You know what I mean? He's been conquering fighters and all the best fighters in all the weight classes he's been in. He's been the best fighter type shit, So that's why I have him number one, because of how many more weight classes he had to conquer. But to me, I think Alexander Usyk and Terrence Crawford are one and two interchangeably. Now, Inoue, to me, there's still more to be proven from him. The people that he's fighting for his belts. Now, the thing about it is, the people that he's fighting for his belts, to me, doesn't show me much. It shows that he can punch, but he also got dropped by Luis Nery. I mean, just because you've been dropped doesn't mean that you're not pound for pound, skill for skill wise. But with his style, I don't think he's hanging up there. He would need to see a Jesse Rodriguez, or he would need to see a Shushu Carrington for me to be like, okay, he's up there. Because I think that if we had all these guys had to fade, right? If this was just a regular ranking and they were all in the same weight class, Usyk and Crawford are interchangeable for 1 and 2. Naoya Inoue does not beat Dmitry Bivol with his style. Naoya Inoue does not beat Beterbiev with his style. And to me, it stops at a Jesse Rodriguez. He could potentially beat a Saul Alvarez, Canelo, but style for style, I think it's limited until he gets past that Jesse Rodriguez, because he's a puncher. He's pretty slick. He has good intuition. He has good athleticism and reflexes. But I don't think his style would get him past those four guys. Definitely not to number 2. So I think that's a bit of glazing, but they've been glazing him in the media for a while, to be honest. So, I mean, all he's really ever had to do was just punch his way through. Even when he's been caught with big shots or outbunched, punching was his means of expertise. You know what I mean? And him getting the win over Stephen Fulton. He's a puncher and Stephen Fulton is not a puncher. And to be honest, it was inevitable that it would be too much, because Stephen Fulton was getting pushed back. And even when the Brandon Figueroa fight, when they first fought, he was getting pushed back. You know what I mean? The version of Stephen Fulton that you're seeing now, where he's fighting more on the inside, because that's what you got to do with these guys. You don't want to get caught on the end of their punches when you're fighting a strong puncher. You want to be smothering that power on the inside. If he fights the way he fought Brandon Figueroa last time against Naoya Inoue, he can have some success, but he just needs to sit down on them punches more. Style for style, though, I don't know. I can't say that he's number 2, bro. I can't. It's too soon. He hasn't faced enough true tall tasks in his in the weight class that he's been fighting in. And I mean, he's been fighting out of Japan. Junto Nakatani, I don't know if he's too big or if they can make that fight happen, because that would be a good fight. Jesse Rodriguez, I think, would give Inoue a lot of problems because he has the type of style that could, well, he has the defense, he has the footwork, and he has the power in a way that we haven't seen Inoue deal with yet. So that would be a stable victor if he could fight a Bam Bam Rodriguez or a Shushu Carrington, who I also think gives him a lot of problems because he has that inside work and he has the defense that could smother some of that power. But, you know, we'll see. If they make the fights, then we'll see. Turkey, do your thing, man. Cook up. Dmitry Bivol, number 4. Arch Beterbiev, number 5. I mean, I don't think that either guy, it could fuck with Bud if they were all the same weight class, because Bud, he has a lot of success against Eastern European fighters because of his body work and the fact that a lot of his punches, they come around some of that straight work you see from Eastern European fighters. So I think that Bud being 1 and Usyk being interchangeable 1 and 2, and Dmitry Bivol and Archie Beterbiev coming after that with 3 and 4, I think that's interchangeable. I think that Bivol is the better boxer. Beterbiev is a great boxer. He just has that power, kind of like Inoue's situation. But I think that if they're all the same weight, that's interchangeable for me too. But if I had to pick, I would put Bivol over Beterbiev too. Bam Bam Rodriguez, to me, I think he's cool where he's at. You know what I mean? I think he's good where he's at. I would move Devin up above Canelo, and I would put Canelo number 10, and I put David Benavidez number 9 or number 8. Junto Nakatani, to me, hasn't proven enough to be above a David Benavidez or a Devin Haney. I think that if he was a number 9 or even a number 10, because Canelo has fought way more styles, he's proven himself. He's had more staple fights. The problem was that he just could not get over the hump when he fought stiff competition. He doesn't really fight stiff competition. That's the reason why if I was gonna put him, I would put him lower on the list, because Junto Nakatani, I mean, he's been fighting nothing but staples, but he has a lot of staple victories. And to be honest, I might even move Devin Haney up a little higher, because style for style wise, if he fights a Bivol style with, you know what I mean, he just came off of a close win over Lomachenko, and they went style for style. That wasn't a power or any type of equalizer. That was style v style for style. I would put Devin Haney up a little bit higher. You know what I mean? I could see him number 5, number 4, style for style, because he would give a lot of these niggas issues with his style. I think that he's better than Jesse Rodriguez. I think that he's better than Bivol and Beterbiev. So for me, I would have Alexander Usyk and Terrence Crawford. If I had to pick one, I mean, Usyk just boxed a dude who was like 6'6" and cooked him, but at the same time, I never thought Tyson Fury was really like that. They really did do a lot of favors for him, especially in the Wilder fights where he was knocked out and all that. They did a lot of favors for Usyk too. I'll put Bud number 1, Usyk number 2, because Bud really got out the mud, way more weight classes, stiffer competition, stopped all the 147 pound. This dude is a living legend. You know what I mean? And I got him number 1. I got Usyk number 2. I got Dev number 3. I got Dmitry Bivol and Beterbiev slide down 4 and 5. I mean, yeah, that's cool right there, 4 and 5. Bam number 6. That's cool. Man, I would put David Benavidez number 7. Or matter of fact, I'll put David Benavidez number 6 right behind Beterbiev and Bivol. Then I'll put Jesse Rodriguez there, number 7. Then you could put, or you know what? Yeah, I'll put David Benavidez number 6. I'll put Naoya Inoue number 7. I'll put Bam Bam Rodriguez number 8. I'll put Canelo number 8, Bam Bam Rodriguez number 9. I'll put Junto 10, because them two, to me, are fresh in the conversation of pound for pound. And also to me right now, Canelo right now, he's still ducking Benavidez. I can't put him over Benavidez. He lost to Bivol, so I can't put him that close to Bivol. He would never fight a Beterbiev. And I think style for style wise, him and Bud are about to be in the same class. And I think there's just levels to this shit, to be honest. I think it's levels to this shit. You can't just, I don't think that outside of the fact that the dude has power, he doesn't have a chance boxing against a Bud Crawford. I don't think anybody has him boxing with a Bud Crawford. You know what I mean? There's levels to this. So I got Bud number 1, Usyk number 2, Dev number 3, Bivol and number 4, Artur Beterbiev number 5, number 6, David Benavidez. Yeah. Number 7, I put Canelo. Or no, number 7. Yeah, number 7, I'll put Canelo. Number 8, I'll put Inoue. Number 9, I'll put Nakatani. And let me see. Nah, I can't move dog back down that far. Let me see. I'll put Bud at 1, Usyk at 2. I already explained those. Dev at 3. Bivol Beterbiev 4 and 5. Benavidez at 6. Could Canelo stay there? Yeah, I mean, he's cool at 7. He just can't be above Benavidez. That's too crazy. So Canelo at 7. Now you're Inoue at 8. And then Nakatani and Rodriguez at 9 and 10. And I mean, if they might even fight each other at some point. I can see that going down because they're not too far off. And I think that, stylistically, man, you got power versus power, but both these guys have footwork, punch selection is crazy. It's crazy good. I think that's a solid list. So, people who are like, man, Dev, he couldn't even deal with that left hook, bro. He won 8 rounds. He lost because that's why the PEDs matter so much. The same way that the call matters in the Tank Davis fight versus Lamont Roach. It's the same reason why stylistically we're talking about Devin versus Ryan boxing on a fair playing ground. I don't think it's the same. It's nowhere near. The levels are nowhere near the same. But if you swing enough and you catch them because you're going to get hit in boxing, bro. But if you catch them with some shot and, bro, you're on PEDs, of course it matters. Like hitting somebody with a bat. It's not the same, bro. It's not the same, right? Now, obviously, people are going to have an issue because Tank Davis is not on the list. Here's my thing. Out of all of these great fighters on the list, if I had to replace anybody, because we're talking about right now, it would have been a Tank because now he's getting to the point where he's talking about potentially retiring. And I mean, same thing with Shakur Stevenson, right? He's not talking about retiring, but the problem is these are all fighters that have had statement victories. Jesse Rodriguez just cooked against that boy Sonny, had him ready to retire. And Junto Nakatani, to be honest, Junto Nakatani is he cooked one of the Maloney twins and had a knockout of the year and last year, but he's such a different type of fighter that it makes sense to me why he's on the pound for pound list. But for me, he would be 9 or 10 because we really have to see. I want him and Jesse Rodriguez to duke it out at some point. That would be fire. And then for me, now you're in a way. I mean, it's like now you're in a way to me is kind of what Tank was when he first came out, where you see his style is very different and it's effective and he's stopping these guys, but we're waiting to see him really step up the competition, right? But he does have a signature win against Scooter Fulton. The problem is that Scooter Fulton is a soft touch, or he was for sure. He is a soft touch, and in his style, it was destined because he moves around so much. All he really had to do now, all he had to do was just cut the ring off and kind of stalk and let his straight punches go. You know what I mean? And corner him, because when you corner him, all you have to do is pick your shots, because in reality, Stephen Fulton's not going to come back with anything you need to worry about. For him, he needs to box perfectly, and you can't do that against someone like Tank would have knocked him out too if they were the same weight. You dig what I'm saying? So that just is what it was. But yeah, I mean, Canelo, he's still a hard-nosed veteran in the sport. and you can't take that away from him. He's knocked out a lot of guys. He's won a lot of fights in a lot of different ways. He fought Triple G. He has a statement victory over that. It was controversial for sure as a robbery the first fight, and everybody knows he lost the first and second fight, bro. You know what I mean? But I mean, Canelo is still dangerous for anybody. He's still dangerous. But the level of competition only really took a dive when he was fucking with DAZN for a while. But I mean, he does have a lot of signature wins. He has signature losses too. But it's the fact that he did step up to the plate to take those against Dimitri Bivol and against a Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. David Benavidez, I mean, that's obvious. To me, it's obvious why he's number 6. But I can't put Tank over any of these guys because Tank doesn't really have a signature win. He doesn't really have a signature win. And most of the time, all of his fans, all they really do is just try to cape for the fact that he doesn't have a signature win and deflect, but it has nothing to do with boxing. Like, their reasoning behind why they view Tank how they do has nothing to do with boxing. All of that shit, it's shade room mentality. Like, all they give a fuck about is his braids, his tattoos. Like, I'm not gonna lie, some of these grown men on here, I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to fuck Tank. The way that they act over this guy, he's just a man at the end of the day. And as a fighter, he's not doing what he's supposed to do. He's not handling his business compared to all of these guys that are active and challenging themselves. Devin being number 3, that fool has his whole resume is signature wins. His whole resume is signature wins. Finding people coming off of they're either former champions, like just lost their belt, or coming off of a signature win, or it's one of the more dangerous guys in the division. This dude went from Lomachenko to Regis Prograis at his debut at 140 and cooked him. And cooked him after a close fight against Lomachenko. Went from Regis Prograis to fight PED Ryan Garcia, and he didn't get knocked out for 1 and 2. He won 8 rounds, and he never called the fight off, even though everything was pointing towards this guy is probably about to cheat you with all the misdirection and all the weird shit going on. So people weren't actually talking about the fact that he was coming in overweight. They were talking about the antics. He didn't even call off the fight, and he's coming back to fight Jose Ramirez at 147. Bro, stop playing with that, man. Bud, it's obvious. Usyk, it's obvious. Devin, it's obvious. Bivol and Beterbiev, it's obvious because they're fighting each other. Benavidez, it's obvious. He has nothing but signature wins on his resume, and he's being avoided by number 7, Canelo. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it makes sense that Tank is not on here. We're at the point in time they doing Tank kind of how they're gonna do LeBron when his career is over with, or getting close to being over with, where they start looking at his resume and being honest. And honestly, Tank does not have any signature wins. I don't know if his style there's been some chinks in his style before, but now with the Lamont Roach fight, it's even more obvious how you need to fight him. And I've been telling people for a long time, you have to fight him and be a big fighter, fight him big, fight him strong, the way that Lamont Roach did. Mind your space, and just fight him how counterpunch is supposed to be fought. You know what I mean? Stop people that he was fighting were people that were landing on his shots for him. You know what I mean? Landing on him. So people are calling him a 30-year-old prospect. I mean, now everyone's looking at resumes and stuff like that, and they're stopped looking at it from just the fact that he's popular and putting him on the list. No, as a fighter, what has he done? So this is why this list makes sense. This is a long-winded video, but y'all leave y'all thoughts in the comment section, bro. And I'll see you on the next one, man. I'm gone.